Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, by the banks of lovely lake while you wait. Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, come on in and let us show you around the place. Even when it's raining, we got sunshine. At WALABEAR, we always have a fun time. Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, come early and you'll never leave too late.
Guess what, happy campers?
What?
I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do today. I didn't plan a thing. And you know what they say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I really hope today is not a failure.
Counselor Carl, something came in the mail for you today.
Something came in the mail? For me? WALABEAR, would you go get that for me, old buddy, old pal? Let's see what came in the mail for old Counselor Carl. Holy Botswana, it's a zebra striped package. I wonder what could be inside. Proper dress required. My goodness, it's a pith helmet. A pith helmet for me. Should I put it on? What do you think? I'll put it on. And it fits like a glove. And there's a note in here too. Hey, it's from our folks at the Gulf Breeze Zoo. Maybe we should pay them a visit. But first, why don't we pay a visit with our wise old pal, Tommy the Swan.
Greetings, curious ones. This zoo is a truly lovely place, no? So many different types of animals from all over the world. You know, even though all of those animals are different in one way or another, they all have one thing in common. They all live in the same place, the zoo. That means that they have to do their best to get along. And for the most part, they do. Of course, some of them live in different sections of the zoo, but in the end, they have to get along. Maybe we should take a lesson from all of the animals in the zoo. Like the animals, we are all different, but we all live in the same place. Therefore, things would go a whole lot smoother if we learn to get along with each other. So until next time, Sim Salabim, and may the road to enlightenment be free of potholes.
And we're back. We're going to go visit Rebecca Rushing, the zoo lady. Adrian, do the honors.
Camper Camp, if you please. Take us to the zoo on our next big breeze.
Thanks, Counselor Carl, and welcome, happy campers, to the zoo here in Gulf Breeze, Florida. I'm glad y'all come down here today. We're probably going to be seeing some very interesting animals on our tour through the zoo today, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to see on our tour today through the zoo are our ring-tailed lemurs. These are types of primates which are in the, and they're only found on the island of Madagascar. That's off the southeast coast of Africa. One of the first things you'll see along with the lemurs as you come into the zoo is our waterfowl pond. You'll find a variety of ducks, geese, and the beautiful mute swans who are both nesting right now. And they are over in a private area where you're not supposed to disturb them, but if you look closely, you can catch the eggs that the female mute swan is sitting on right now. Well, let's head on into the zoo, get a little bit further back into the park, and see some more of our exciting animals today. We're now at the giraffe exhibit. We're up on the giraffe feeding tower, and you can see this is Gigi, one of our adult female giraffes. And she's right now most likely getting a little bit of salt off of that wood over there. She's a reticulated giraffe, and if you look over here, you'll find her male counterpart. This is Gus. Now, being the tallest land mammal, you'll find that they pretty much have a very long neck. People don't know this, but they have the same amount of vertebrae in their neck as humans do, only 7 cervical vertebrae. They also have the longest tongue of most animals, about 11 inches long. Now, Now when you come to the zoo, you can come up on the station where we're standing right now and actually feed these animals, and you can look at them face to face and get a really neat experience when that 11-inch tongue comes out and gives you a quick lick on the hand for the food. Now these animals obviously aren't pets, but it does take a lot of care to be able to take care of them, and it is a hard job for the zookeepers here to keep up with their routine and give them a good nutritional balance of food to provide what they need that they would otherwise get when they're in the wild. Although you're not going to see all the animals that are found here in the park, we are going to feature some of the big cats that you'll find here in the zoo. What you're seeing right now are white tigers. This is a very rare color for the Bengal or Indian tiger, and you only will find it about 25% of the time in a tiger population. The white tigers are a part of a special breeding program here at the zoo known as the Species Survival Plan. That's where we work in conjunction with other zoos across the Americas to help try and increase their numbers in captivity with hopes of one day returning them to their native ranges. This is another one of our big cats you'll find here at the zoo. This is an adult male African lion, and no doubt they are the top of the predator chain found across the plains of Africa. They are the top of the food chain is what I mean by that. And that means that they hunt on all the other smaller animals like gazelles that you find across the plains of Africa. Now in this exhibit you'll find accompanying Larry two female counterparts, and if you look back there, you'll find them both sitting out there in the shade. One of our jaguars. You're probably more familiar with the spotted color type, but if you look closely while we're looking at her right now, you'll notice that there are black spots on the black fur. So a lot of people like to call this cat a black panther, but it is actually a type of jaguar. Now the jaguars are found in the rainforests of South America, and they are, just like the other cats we've seen so far today, a carnivore. That means they eat primarily meat in the wild, and they primarily will prey on smaller food items such as small rodents or smaller mammals and birds. Now we're over here at another one of the big cats you'll find at the zoo, and this is a pair of cougars. Cougars are also referred to as mountain lions, and some people like to argue that the mountain lion and the cougar is also the same animal as the Florida panther. Now if the Florida panther is a subspecies possibly of this type of cat, but they are definitely in the same group. Now you'll notice the habitat we have it in. It's more of a desert dry look, and that's to kind of go along with the color of its fur, because in the wild you'll find that this is the type of habitat they would be found in, and it helps them to blend in nicely so that they can hide and hopefully pounce on a prey item that they would use for dinner one evening. Now people like to talk about big cats and small cats. Big cats are often referred to as the ones that roar, and this is actually a little confusing because you'll look at our two cougars here today and you would think based on size that they're big cats, but these cats actually purr, so that puts them in the small cat category. This is another one of the small cats you'll find at the zoo, and it's a pair of caracals. Caracals are found all over the continent of Africa as well as some portions of Asia, and you'll notice one of their most distinctive features are the tall pointed ears. Now they use these ears to help them communicate when hunting in groups. When they're trying to stay real quiet to sneak up on a prey item, they'll twitch their ears and communicate with each other to try and ensure a safe catch of the prey item that they're working on for dinner that evening. Now the caracals, again, like I was explaining earlier, are a small cat, and that means that they purr as opposed to lions and tigers we saw earlier. Those are the big cats who roar. We'll be back in just a few minutes where we're going to go visit some of the great apes here at the zoo.
Hello, I am Chef Pierre, and we're at the zoo. Beautiful, no? I am so very, very happy to see you today. Let's talk about something really wild. Zoo food. Now, do you think that a zookeeper would feed the animals food that was not good for them? Don't be silly. Of course not. Animals are just like you. They need food that is both delicious and nutritious. For example, tigers need lots of protein. That keeps their ears perky and their fur shiny. That's why the zookeeper feeds them plenty of meat like this. Now, hippopotamuses, for example, they enjoy vegetables like lettuce and carrots. And monkeys, we cannot forget monkeys, but of course, they like fruit like
bananas, and oranges. So what does this all mean to you? Simple. You can be as smart as the animals if you eat foods that are good for you. So when it's time to eat, call the zookeeper. And if the zookeeper is not around, call Mom, Dad, or someone else that can help you out. It's very nice.
Let's monkey around with some chimpanzees.
These are a couple more of our great apes you'll find here at the zoo. This is Maua Pai and a young male whose name is Zugud. They are chimpanzees, and this type of ape is found across Africa. Now, like all the great apes, they are endangered animals, primarily due to habitat destruction. Now, you'll notice some of the items in their exhibit. It's a part of our primate enrichment program. It may look like a mess now, but that's because they've been through it already for the day. It's a system of toys and puzzles, ropes and climbing apparatus, which keeps them active throughout the day, so they don't sit around and look like they're idle. It will keep their minds active. And a lot of that is based on the fact that these animals are extremely intelligent and, in fact, are very closely related based on their genetic structure to humans. This is Sarah. She's a 5-year-old Bornean orangutan, and a young male right underneath her here. This is Pumpkin. Now, the orangutans can be found in 2 different areas in the world, from both the island of Borneo or from Sumatra. And as you can see, their long, muscular arms are used because they are found in the tops of trees in the rainforest on those islands. And they spend most of their time climbing through the trees, so they need strong hands and arms to be able to swing and spend most of their life up in the tops of the canopy of the rainforest. Now, these animals are also very endangered in the wild, and that's because the rainforest is under a lot of destruction right now, and they're just flat out losing habitat. Unfortunately, the orangutans are also a product of the black market trade. Some of the Asian countries are still going through taking some of these little guys as pets. Unfortunately, once they get a little bit older in age, they get way too big and way too strong for an adult human to handle them, and then they're just orphaned. So at that point, they unfortunately don't know really how to take care of themselves and are almost impossible to reintroduce back into the wild. These guys are also part of that species survival plan I was telling you about earlier, which the white tigers we saw are in that program, and that's where we're going to help increase their numbers in captivity and eventually return them back to some islands and to the island of Borneo. These are our 3 lowland African gorillas. The 2 smaller ones you'll find in the exhibit are 2 young 7-year-olds, both a male and a female, and their names are Rwanda and Mwelu. You'll find the large adult female down on the bottom of the exhibit. She often isn't found climbing on the jungle gyms anymore because as an adult gorilla, she's actually too heavy to get up on the tops of these apparatus. The 2 7-year-olds are often a big source of excitement here at the zoo because they'll spend so much time going into some very interesting acrobatic feats and prove to be a real great source of entertainment for park visitors. The lowland gorillas are extremely endangered in the wild, primarily due to habitat destruction, and they're often poached in the wild, which means they're killed to take parts of their body as wildlife products. And this, unfortunately, is a practice that is still continuing today. Now, with a mix of being no habitat and being poached in the wild, they have a pretty grim future. But thanks to programs in zoos and their breeding plans, you can hopefully increase their numbers in captivity and have a good bred captive population, which will provide a source of reintroduction material in the future. This is Ellie, our 9-year-old African elephant. She stands about 8 feet tall right now and weighs approximately 3,500 pounds. Now, when she stops growing, which will be at about age 20, she'll stand anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall and weigh approximately 10,000 pounds. You'll notice one of the key features of an elephant is a trunk, and it's made up of over 40,000 muscles and tendons, and that's certainly more than you have in your entire body. You'll also notice underneath her trunk there are 2 white objects. Those are referred to as her incisor teeth or her tusks, and they are made of ivory. Now, those tusks are the primary source of creating the endangered status of the African elephant as well as the Asian elephant, and that's because they are poached to take that ivory tusk and make them into wildlife products, which are actually still being sold here in the United States. One of the biggest things you can do to help stop the poaching of the elephants is to simply not buy any ivory. If you stop buying ivory, there's no market for ivory products, and these animals will stop being poached in the wild. You'll also notice a key feature about the elephant are the ears. There are two different types of elephants living in the wild today. It's the African and the Asian. And again, Ellie here is an African elephant. If you look at her ears, they're quite a bit larger relative to the size of her head, and they're actually kind of shaped like the continent of Africa. The Asian elephant's ears are significantly smaller in relation to the size of the head.
The news is next.
This is a Camp WALABEAR special edition of Action News 10.
Good morning, happy campers. I'm Eleanor Reynolds, and this is WALABEAR News. Next Saturday is the big night in Mobile for the 50 contestants in the America's Junior Miss program. This week was quite busy for the young women with several engagements plus rehearsals. The high school seniors are having to learn the steps of the many production numbers that we will see on national television. America's Junior Miss program will be carried live nationwide next Saturday night. That's July 23rd on WALA Channel 10, beginning at 7 o'clock. So for those of you who love trying to guess the winner of such programs, get your notepads and pencils ready so you can make notes on who you think should be the next America's Junior Miss. And speaking of beautiful, brilliant young ladies, this year's Miss Rhode Island has a job you would not think of a beauty queen as holding down. Meet police officer Tori Lynn Heaton. She's also Miss Rhode Island. And this September, she'll compete for the title of Miss America. Why the job of a police officer, you may ask? Well, Tori says she would like to be a role model and set good examples for children. And she adds she sees herself as a police officer first and a beauty queen second. Much success to her in September. It's nice to have hobbies. Some folks like maintaining aquariums for a hobby. And then there are some folks who just can't seem to get a big enough aquarium. Some folks like Captain Spencer Slate. He's a Florida Keys dive boat operator who has quite a hobby collecting pets under the sea. His favorite pet is this guy, Smokey the Barracuda, and another, the moray eel, who allows Captain Slate to give him great big hugs. Wow, what pets? Nothing like having a huge aquarium. And that's WALABEAR News for today. I'm Eleanor Reynolds. Thanks for joining us, and remember, have fun this summer. Stay safe, obey your parents, and be kind to your brothers and sisters. Bye-bye.
Let's get back on track with the train ride at the zoo.
Hey, everybody, let's go on a train ride. All aboard. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome aboard the Safari Line Limited. My name is Rebecca, and I'm going to be taking you on a tour today to our 30-acre wildlife preserve, where all of our animals do roam free. So please, at all times, remain seated and keep your hands and feet aboard the train. Now, these large brown and white shaggy animals are in fact known as guanacos, and they are the wild form of the llama found in the high mountain regions of South America. Now, if you look over here to the right of the train, you'll find a large black animal rubbing his horns up against that tree there. That's Big Bad Bubba. He's our Asiatic water buffalo. Now, he is in fact the largest animal out here on the reserve by weight, weighing around 1,700 pounds. Now, directly to Bubba's right, you'll find a couple of our Ankole cattle. They're also known as Watusi. Now, as you probably already guessed, these animals do possess the largest horns of any of the cattle. They were also one of the very first cattle to ever be domesticated by man. Also coming up here to the right of the train, sitting down in the sandy area are some small animals with white underbellies and corkscrew horns. These are known as black buck antelope. Black buck antelope are native to India, and they are one of the fastest running antelope, reaching speeds of up to around 45 miles an hour. Now, standing at the hay feeder here to the right of the train, you'll find some large brown animals with backward curving horns. These are known as sable antelope. Now, out in the sandy area there to the right of the train, you'll find a small herd of dark-colored spotted deer. Those are known as axis deer or chital. They're also native to India and can often be found in the same areas as the black buck antelope I just pointed out to you earlier in the tour. Now, they are one of the few type of deer that will retain the spots you see along their back throughout their entire life. Sitting closer to the pond here to the left of the train, you'll find some grayish colored animals with black faces. These are known as wildebeest. often found in large migratory herds known to number in the millions, and these herds are often found migrating across the Serengeti plains of Africa. They are known to migrate large distances to follow both the range and the grasslands. There are several different habitat types out here. We just have passed through an open grassland plain, and to the right of the train, you'll find a typical Florida tie-tie swamp, getting its name from that white, short, scrubby tree along the back side of the swampy area. That is the tie-tie tree. Now, if you look beyond the swampy area, you'll find a small mixed hardwood forest. Now, the reason the zoo developed these very different habitat types was to try and accommodate the wide diversity of animals that we have out here on the reserve. Now, coming up here to the right of the train, you'll find our family of scimitar horned oryx. Now, this animal was originally native to the northern desert lands of Africa. However, they are now unfortunately extinct in the wild. You'll also notice scattered out here to the right of the train are some more of our black buck antelope. And walking away from us there is a colorful bird with a bright gold pom-pom on its head. That's one of our East African crown cranes. Now, as I pull forward, you'll get a really close look at a pair of crown cranes sitting up here at the left side of the train. Because of the colorful nature of this bird, they have been named the national emblem of Uganda. Now, like most members of the crane family, they will travel in pairs, male and female, and they are known to mate for life. Now, the large gray building you see over here to the right of the train is home to our 9-year-old African elephant, Ellie. This is where she likes to sleep at night, and you'll find Ellie in her play area here to the right front of the train. Now, Ellie will be putting on an elephant show for you today at 3 o'clock. Now, as we enter the train station, I would like to thank everyone for joining me on the Safari Line Limited. And if you have any questions about any of the animals I've talked to you about here today, please ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. Now, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete halt, at which point you can exit at the gate towards the rear of the train. Thank you, and have a great day here at the zoo.
Was that swell or what?
Yeah!
We'd like to thank all the folks at the Gulf Breeze Zoo for showing us a really wild time. Don't forget to write us here at Camp WALABEAR, P.O. Box 1548, Mobile, Alabama, 36633. And if we read your letters or use your riddles or knock-knock jokes on the air, we'll send you one of these way swell Camp WALABEAR t-shirts. So happy campers, until next time, see ya!